Morning. Good morning, everyone, and welcome. I have nothing set up but a Sunday morning rant, talk, whatever. It's pajama day. I'm wearing pajamas Jim Massa would probably love with the moose on them. But seriously, and I'm not going to cough in your face, and I probably should have a cough drop, and I don't even know how I got a freaking cold. I don't go anywhere. So here we go. Let me say hi to everybody first of all. And this is really a real no frills. I have nothing set up. I have no no videos, nothing. We're just gonna talk. So Tommyist hi and A3KRON. I'm looking well. I got coffee tongue. I tried to brush it all off my tongue. And veg. Hi, Sandy, wearing my PJs and laying in bed at noon. Yeah, baby, that's what I think. Hey, Alan. All right, good. And you are under a duvet from the UK, Mr. MIDI Doctors. It's great to see all of you. Yeah, medical offices are germy places. No shit. And I had to go for blood work yesterday. But anyway, I am triggered by a lot of things, all right? I don't even know where to start. I need to probably do this. Let's do this thing because, and it's not even whole caffeine that I drank. It's not even 100% caffeine that I freaking drank. So let's do this. Okay, let's just relax. Let's get started. And I'm going to talk about the first thing I have been triggered by. Hang on. Don't even know why I'm coughing. I looked it up. My cough, whatever, could be because my house hasn't been dusted in 6 months. I use a wood stove and I have 8 cats. Oh, you think that might be it? Okay, so this CEO situation, first of all, really triggered me, okay? And it could have been an oil company executive, but nobody ever did that. But it has triggered a lot of people in the United States because it's really not a political issue, nor should it be. Healthcare for all, which we should have here where everybody else does. But it has triggered me to no end because I was an HR director, professional, certified from the Society of Human Resource Management, certified from the American Association for Affirmative Action, certified by the APA, American Payroll Association. I knew my shit back then. Okay, I really did. Oh, wait a minute. I got to do something. I don't think I shut my green screen off. Hang on. Let me make sure that this doesn't look funny because I have a feeling it does. Just a second. Turn the green screen off. Okay, I fixed it. I don't have the green screen on. So anyway, it really triggered me. I mean, I was in that profession. I had a big job. And I would go to conferences every year. I would do all the shit. And I watched through my career, which was when I started, it was called personnel. And I was the personnel coordinator or whatever the frig you wanted to call it then. It didn't really matter. And I watched what happened from the offerings that went from plainly, okay, open enrollment every year, employer sponsored health care, you pay the premium, the employer paid their share. It wasn't ridiculously expensive. Maybe at the time we had 6 or 8 insurance, maybe not even 5 insurance companies, whatever. Now, this is going back. I'm not young. I'm friggin' old. And I'm feeling older by the goddamn day. So we went through, and I went through the whole ACA change at the job, and even my own staff members I would fight with because There was a woman on my staff who was so goddamn conservative, right wing. She hated it, and she wanted everybody to, have to pay for private insurance. I don't even know why she had that feeling or thought. Hang on. Goddamn, this really sucks. I think I better dust. God, I hate doing anything lately. I do clean the litter boxes, I have to tell you. 8 cats, you have to keep up with them. They are the main thing. So, anyway, back then. So, we went through all these different insurance companies and open enrollment every year. You picked what you wanted, and there wasn't that much of a problem. But, yeah, yeah, he's right. I'm not saying anything. I'm going to merely talk about some experiences. I know. And that is something I'm going to talk about actually, because a woman in Florida just got arrested after she talked to Anthem, which is now Anthem because it used to be Blue Cross Blue Shield, but gosh forbid, you just have, I'm not even saying the word God, but forbid you have one insurance company. No, you have to have 45, okay? I know. I'm living it. I'm living it. So anyway, she got arrested because she got upset. So you can't even talk to your insurance company and get upset. So don't get upset because they'll come and arrest you. All right. Anyway. Yeah. Okay, just me. Let me tell you really quick. I have 2 air purifiers running, one in my living room, one in my bedroom, and I have 2 humidifiers running, one in my living room, one in my bedroom, and 2 pots of water on my wood stove. So I'm there. Okay. I've got the whole indoor air quality thing going. And no, this is a different one, Veg. The one in Florida is terrible. I just saw it on a clip from Tom Hartman. It's a different one. Anyway, so I watched all the insurances change. The ACA came in. The big fight came in. We had to do make changes in everything we offered. It wasn't bad. I mean, we were an employer, so we had our offerings, but we still had to follow laws. And there's a million laws, okay? And I'm going to show you some stuff I went over this week. Just because I went downstairs to my basement and pulled up a bunch of old HR shit. And it doesn't leave you. As much education and as much certification and as many conferences as I fucking went to, and I got flown all over the country and all that for all these things. Every year I went to 2 of them, the local and the national. And all that education, it doesn't leave you. Although I'm sure that the laws are updated and changed. I know during the Trump administration, first time shit changed. And are we? I got to tell you how much I love you guys. Yeah, we're following laws. All right. But I'm going to show you some of the shit, all right? That if we had Medicare for all, none of it would be needed, right? Medicare for all. How easy is that? 2% error rate. Really, seriously. They or they don't even, or whatever it is, blowing you off rate, telling you no rate, killing you rate. I know. I'm on Medicare. I'm disabled. I don't look it maybe, or I don't act it, or I don't talk about it. But as you notice, I wear a back brace on every freaking show because I cannot sit more than 2 hours or I am dying. When I do those Wednesday night shows, and if I do them with Left Past 10 with my progressive brethren, the whole next day I hurt. Everything I do in my whole entire life is well thought out. Back brace, neck brace, a cart for my firewood. I hire a kid to bring the firewood up to my deck. In my garden, I lay down on a yoga mat to plant anything. I don't lift because when I lift too much, I get I hurt. I can't function, okay? Even sleeping gives me headaches. But I don't talk about this because I don't want my life to be about my disability, or I could, be one of those YouTube channels that makes 12,000 views and just bitch about how everything is fucked that way. But I choose to talk about climate environment. All right, so let me go back to this because I am ranting and I'm getting off of my original. And we're going to go through a lot of things. I don't even care how long this takes because those of you who know me, I've done this before and then I take the videos down. I might take it down. I might leave it up. And here's another thing about getting old. Okay, so under HR, all right? Under HR, here, I don't know if you can see this, but I got one of my old books out. This is just provisions in New York State, okay? Okay. And I had to know for my certifications all of this shit. All of it. And I'll just give you a few of it. And I even did visas. For H-1 visas, I brought students over, H-1 visas, J-1 visas before we hired immigration attorneys. I used to do that. I did the affirmative action plan every year. I mean, I did things statistically by goddamn spreadsheets, sometimes by hand. Over time, all these other companies and corporations, there was so much in industry around human resources. It was insane. It was insane, you know, and from when you go to these, these yearly things you go to, the trade shows that were in there, the vendor fair, whatever you call it, just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Yes, have plenty of reading glasses for collapse. Goddamn, where is that? Who wrote that? Okay. So anyway, so all the shit that I had to know for these certifications. And we're talking about flexible benefits to the Fair Labor Standards Act, employee handbooks. Oh my God. I was one of the first ones that took the employee handbook and put it on CD before everything was online for our employees. And they could put the CD in their computers and read their benefits and their employee handbook. So I knew that they were freaking reading it, and I had music and art to it and everything because that's who I was. So, and my boss let me do it, you know, but then everything went online. And that's before everything went online. So I'm older than dirt, obviously. Excuse me. Turnover, tuition refund, travel time, termination, paychecks, national origin discrimination, moonlighting, mileage allowance, living wage, prevailing wage, privacy, rest periods, retirement records, racial discrimination, holy frigoli, man, early retirement, elder care, background checks. I implemented the performance evaluation system with my staff, which actually went online from where we used to have just paper ones and we would send them out and they would do them. Everything. I witnessed the automation of everything. I worked the year 2K bullshit. 99 when we thought everything in our legacy system was going to crash. We had a legacy system, and then we went to Oracle. I was a subject matter expert in in payroll for that one, for that big project. We chose Oracle, that lovely company, to do our modules, which all tied together. And so, I mean, you know, I was, and then my back took a shit and I couldn't sit anymore. And then I retired early medically. And that was the beginning of another whole saga. But you had to know about deductions from pay, defamation, credit reports, credit unions, first aid, flexible. I mean, all of this shit. There is just so much. Human resources is insane. It went from, you know, simple, you take care of personnel, you take care of the people, to so much. So I'm going to get to some of the laws, not on disabilities yet. I'm going to go to some of the laws that if we had Medicare for all and we didn't have 4,000 different health insurance companies, and then we have other companies that take care of your health savings account and all that other shit, okay? That goes, okay, here's this. Now this is old stuff, but it's still in the, you know, okay, so you have to know about portability requirements. I'm just going to read you the summary. While there is no federal law that requires employers to provide employees with health care insurance. Tax law incentives and competitive requirements cause most employers, except for the smallest organizations, to sponsor health benefit plans. However, if such coverage is provided, it is subject to extensive regulation. Yes, extensive is the easy word, okay? These requirements include portability requirements, COBRA, another joke in and of itself, continuation coverages, mandated benefits, and reporting and disclosure and claims procedure requirements. With the continuing rapid increase in the cost of health benefits, employers have implemented a variety of cost-cutting and cost-shifting strategies, including defined contribution or consumer-directed health plans now authorized by the federal law and the IRS. Now, I won't go into all of this, okay? I'm not. But just reading all the shit made my hair fall out even worse than it already is. And remembering, And so I want to, there you can cross-reference disabilities, ERISA, which I talked about in a video I made, which only got 213 views, about the scam that long-term care disability is, which has really also triggered me that I can't get any traction on that. Of course, on my channel, nobody gives a shit because we're all talking about collapse. But that's collapse in another way. That's collapse of your whole fucking life, okay? So flexible benefits, leave of absence, long-term care, maternity, Social Security, terminal, blah, 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 blah. Claims procedures, coverage. But what I wanted to get to here was cost control, managed care. Types of employer provided group health insurance. And it's gotten worse since then. The traditional fee-for-service plans or indemnity plans, those were like the originals. Then there came PPOs. Then there's the HMOs, the health maintenance organizations. Then there's medical expense reimbursement accounts. Then there's consumer-directed health plans, HSAs, HRAs, and medical savings accounts. And, everything is to control cost. Everything's to control cost. And, contribution, catch-up contributions, taxation, distribution, employee contribution requirements. Then there's COBRA. Then there's all these HSA advantages, disadvantages, HRAs, MSAs. It's just fucking sane, okay? It was insane. And I had to know all about it because every year it got more and more complex. I had a benefits person. I had a couple of payroll people. I had, time and leave. I had those people with me, but I had to know all about everything because it was my responsibility. And then there was our central office who put out some of these policies, but I sat on some of these decision-making subject matter expert panels. I'm not saying I was anything like a big freaking deal, but I had a very responsible job because, quite frankly, I really cared about the employees. I cared about my employer, but I really cared about the employees. And I think that's where I got in trouble at the end. All right. So then you have to know about dependent care coverage and all these things. And then came HIPAA. And I became a HIPAA expert because, honestly, on my campus, we were the only HIPAA-covered campus because of the kind of research we were doing, with people. And non-discrimination. Well, guess what? That word's going away January 20th in the United States. Mandated benefits, that's probably going away. Mental health parity, that's probably going away. Reconstructive breast surgery. All this stuff you really had to know. And then there were the administrative issues when people left, when they got divorced, what kind of health insurance you had to give them, how you had to give them the certain notices by law, COBRA notices. And COBRA's a joke because you're paying at the group rate, but you're paying the whole entire cost of your health insurance, which is cost prohibitive for so many people that they just go without, And then I talked about, if you watched my video on long-term disability, which I'm not going to show today, it's in there. I wish you would watch it and share it. I wish Jordan Cheriton from Status Quo would take that on because I obviously am such a tiny little channel and I really don't specialize in this shit. Take it on because it's another rip. And that's what really triggered me here. Okay. And then, oh, listen, then, there's ERISA reporting. I mean, there's just so much. All right. So you get the drill. Then you start with the disabilities. I didn't even bring up the Americans with Disabilities Act book, which is that big from downstairs. Of course, it's all online. But in the old days, I had those books on my bookshelf, and I bring them out, and I'd get page by page, and I would read everything because I wrote policies too. And you take the guidance from the government, and then you can write policies for your campus where I worked. So this, talks about the kinds of disabilities and oh my God. And I also took care of complaints, and I did investigations into discrimination and sexual harassment. I trained sexual harassment training. If I hadn't have left, I probably would have moved over to the college and been their new employee and their sexual harassment trainer, but I could not sit for long, and then standing was getting an issue, and then my retention of things I was remembering. Pain is something that really does wreck your life. Okay. So this goes over the ADA, and then, knowing about disabilities, and then employees' request for reasonable accommodation. And then there's the Family and Medical Leave Act, which actually is really good, although, and most people don't, you could save your sick time at my place. You could save your sick time, and you could use that concurrent with your leave for pregnancy. And a lot of people that got pregnant would use that. Hang on, it's too hot here. They would use their sick time and work it concurrently with their 12 weeks. And I will say, FMLA it was a good law. But if we had Medicare for all, and this is what's very interesting. So the Republican Party hates regulations, right? Okay. They hate regulations, and but yet we're regulated because employer-sponsored healthcare had to be regulated, or there would be even worse abuses than there already are. And for the most part, my organization was one of the better ones. All right. We really were one of the better ones. Until last year, when they decided to kick all the employees that worked their whole for many years like me, and kicked us off of the group plan and gave us this bullshit health savings crap. I'm not saying the name, but it was bullshit. I don't know what happened or why they why they did it, because I obviously didn't sit on the committee. And now with universities and what's going to happen in January 2020, you look at the fine print, they'll probably kick us all off any retiree health, because we were lucky. We were lucky to have it. But they'll probably kick us all off. And I'm sure as shit, they're going to then charge, because that's what I'm paying now for. It's just with Medicare. I'm paying for United Healthcare, not Medicare Advantage, though, just supplemental, $218 a month. And of course, that's going up, and you wonder why I'm always broke. And I'm always broke because I fucked my life up also with everything I ever had. But that's not just my doing either. That was because, go watch my video. Not saying that the long-term disability video I made was about me, but you need to watch it so you understand more, because besides the health insurance scams, long-term disability is such a scam. They say you have protection and that it works with Social Security, but once you get your Social Security, they do anything and everything to kick you right the fuck off. Okay, so this is the beginning of my rant. The Republicans hate regulations, but yet why don't they like Medicare for all? Because then their buddies don't make all this money ripping off and killing Americans, right? We wouldn't need three quarters of this shit. All of this shit. Because if the government took care of Medicare, There would be jobs for the people that are in the private industry, not the CEOs or the higher level scumbags, but there would be jobs for somebody that, would that have to administrate it, right? And civil service has unions and governmental unions. There would be union protection for people, and it would actually cost the government a whole lot less than what's happening now. Do you know that with okay, let's say a veteran, for example, veteran has VA benefits, and they take a Medicare Advantage ripoff bullshit plan, which is sold all over the place. They take that plan thinking, oh boy, that's going to give me some extra coverage. And then they decide to use the VA. Well, Medicare Advantage still, right? Maybe they didn't cover anything, but they're billing the government. Medicare Advantage is paid for by the United States government to the tunes of billions of dollars that are going right into the CEO's pockets, right into the corporation's pocket. And if you think that trickles down to the regular phone worker, and by the way, do you think who do you get when you call customer service? All right? Who are you talking to? Need I say anymore? So that's not trickling down. Not if the CEO is making $48 million a year, and then there's tax buybacks. They have to worry about the stupid boards, the stock boards. So there you go. I mean, we are getting ripped off left and right. And then there's people like Rick Scott, who was the chair of whatever health company he was, that ripped off Medicare and Medicaid to the tune of, gazillions of dollars. They get prosecuted and fined, and he just toodly-doo skips away, becomes governor of Florida because the fucking morons in the United States vote for criminals all the time. Congressman, governor, and senator now, okay? Senator Frankenstein. Never got convicted of anything, but he was the guy, okay? So this is how corrupt the United States is in every which way. Every which fucking way. And it's really sad because it doesn't have to be this way. And I'm going to look at your comments after I finish my rant, because it's not just healthcare, it's every industry. And today, I was reading this morning about food and how food safety come January 20th, food safety is going to be compromised also. So now we're going to have a corrupt healthcare system. And once the food safety regulations in America are relaxed, people are going to get even sicker. And then they're going to be denied by their health insurance companies to get the treatment they need because they ate something that's going to potentially fucking kill them. All right? It's just a circular clusterfuck. And it makes me really worked up. And that's why I did that video on long-term disability that nobody gave a shit about and watched, because I'm not a big channel. And I can't get that out there, that it's not just health care. That American workers go to work and they think, oh, look, the company's giving me a benefit. So if, God forbid, something happens that is not workers' comp, okay, that's a whole other issue I understood. I used to be the one that had to go to compensation hearings. Unemployment hearing, things like that. I was just, very busy, okay? And I have to tell you, I love my job. Best part I loved, really, and I know I'm going all over the place, but I loved affirmative action. And I loved being able to make people do the right thing because, believe it or not, we had a lot of bigots that would just want to hire who they wanted because they didn't want that person that didn't look like them in their department. I knew it. I lived it. And that was one of the reasons why I had to leave my job, because there were people that didn't want to do things the way they were supposed to be done. So anyway, without naming names or getting my ass in trouble, affirmative action I was really lucky to belong to an organization that was made up of people that really cared about everybody and equality for everybody. Yes, it was a federal plan because we were federal contractors, so it was managed by the Office of Federal Contract Compliance Programs, which is called the OFCCP. So any federal money that went to anywhere, you know, even if you got federal money and you had more than 50 employees and you got federal money in a trucking company, or if you got federal money in an university, hospital, anywhere, federal money was watched over, was policed by the affirmative action rules. And that's not quotas. That is basically hiring from the pool of applicants that look like and are from your community, if they're local jobs, and that you are picking the most qualified applicant out of the pool. I even watched that change, where we used to have search committees that would get all of the paper resumes and look over that. I watched as new industries came on board that did everything electronically, and I'm guilty. We used a electronic search procedure, and everything was done online and changed. And many your resumes wouldn't even get looked at if they didn't have whatever. They wouldn't even get looked at. So people would really never even know if they applied for a job because there was nothing that said back to you. You just don't hear. It was kind of cruel, actually. But I implemented that with my staff. I have to say I had a really, really top-notch staff. Even the woman that worked for me, who was a right-wing conservative bitch who stabbed me in the back at the end. We don't have to go through that. I'm not a victim. I was just very blessed in my life to have the ability to do what I did because I had a wonderful boss who believed in me and several people. We were the underdogs. I mean, he believed in the underdog. And he knows who he is if he ever sees this. Tony, I had one. I sold it last year because I couldn't do it anymore. I have shitty bones. All right. So anyway, I'm just ranting about that, but it's all part of collapse, really. It really is. I mean, because Americans are so stupid that they don't understand that Medicare for all would solve so many problems. It would eliminate all these goddamn regulations that companies have to be forced to use. Companies would not have to spend so much of their budget on HR people like me and all of the other shit that goes along with it because it would be they could spend the money on their core business. Okay? And Isn't that what everybody wants, instead of having to spend? But no, it's not like that. You've got to just keep spending money, and corporations keep spending money, and certainly the employees are not making the money. Nope. So what are we going to do about that? I mean, Bernie Sanders is all over the place talking about this. But of course, even Democrats, the jerks that are always putting down Bernie Sanders and Bernie Bros and all that, when Bernie's been talking about this shit for his whole entire career, he has not been wrong. Absolutely not been wrong. And I'm on Medicare, and so I see it's easy. And I get they don't reimburse as much as they could for doctors. Doctors are paying ridiculous amounts to go to medical school, which is another ridiculous bullshit thing. The profit motive is crazy. If you go to medical school and you have a $300,000 or more student loan nut, and I know someone who went to medical school not long ago and is paying over $2,000 a month back, they have to make money. And then if they're in a private practice, they've got to have a whole cadre of people working for them just to understand the billing and the laws and everything else. So they've got to charge ridiculous prices. Everything has to come. It's going to collapse. Who is it that said it? It's going to. I keep waiting for it. I mean, the whole deck of cards has got to come to a crescendo. And maybe Luigi started the awakening of how ridiculous things are, because it's not just a Democrat or Republican issue. Every family in the United States is affected by this. Everyone. And everyone should also have dental insurance, because dental health, which I am lucky I pay for that. Dental health is really important because if you don't have good dental health, you get infections, goes right down your heart, gives you a heart attack, just like my friend Just Jim, who died in his early 50s falling off a scaffold because he had a major heart attack because he had rotten fucking teeth because he couldn't afford health insurance dental insurance. So he died. You know, it's really upsetting for a lot of us. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Nina, here you go. It is so exhausting to hear old talking points against healthcare. Like, I don't want to pay for other people's sicknesses. They are clearly stuck in dumb thinking. No, they're clearly stuck in American self-centered, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, selfish, greedy thinking. Holy crap, I've got somebody on my Facebook, a personal friend I've known since my early 20s. He defends every single thing on the right. He defends all this shit because, well, I'm not on it, Social Security yet, and I had a business. Because you're white, dude. And I tried to point out to him that his Italian heritage, he was his people were discriminated against horribly when they first came to the United States, but he sits there and just doesn't get it. Nope. Because he's got what he's got, but why should he pay for anybody else? Because the thinking in the United States is a special weather statement for my location. Oh, let's read this. Wait, I just have to take that off because I got to see what the fuck is going to go on today. Why do we have that? I'm going to get, oh, well, whatever. I'm not, you know what? I'm going to ignore it. I've got enough firewood to get me through the next few days. Until the kid that I'm grateful for, that I pay, comes and brings up more to my deck. Anyway, so, this dude on my Facebook, he'll argue against, but he's probably one of the only right-wingers on my personal Facebook. It's my personal page, which I keep because my mom, my family, and my friends from high school, but he's probably the only one that will come on and at least comment or argue with me, because the rest of them are too much of pussies to come on. If I put anything political or about the climate, there's a couple of them. But most of them are they're just pussies. Sorry. Meow. Where's my meow? They are right. I got to find it. Yep, this is what they are. Not even in a nice way. Sorry if that's politically incorrect. They're just babies because they won't talk with me about it because they're just greedy. I want what I want, without understanding at all how much we are getting fleeced and ripped off, and it's just going to get worse. And this dude had the balls to say, oh, let's hope that we all love this president coming up. This presidency. How could we? We're going to be sicker, poorer. And when you can't even call a health insurance company now and talk and complain about them denying you because you might now get arrested? Holy shit. And they're the free, and this is under Biden, who, by the way, I don't like because he's opening up Alaska. Fuck him, fuck him, fuck drilling, fuck them all. And I told you, this was going to be a rant. This was going to be whatever it was going to be. But I happen to be very knowledgeable in a lot of things, although I'm not knowledgeable in a lot of other things. And I'm certainly not a Dunning-Kruger person, because I tell you when I think that I don't know enough. And that is why I bring people on that do. But I'm getting tired, okay? And like I said, this whole Luigi CEO thing really triggered me. It really triggered me because of what I know, because of what I live, because of my experience, because of the fact that I'm a broke joke at my age, partially my own fault, partially because of all the bullshit that happened to me. But it's not my story in my other video. Like I'm telling you, it's not. It's just a story. Okay? It's a story. And then, so we've covered the health insurance scam, big industry CEOs, 40 million now other companies that are offshoots. So you just can't have Blue Cross. They went to Anthem and they all split off and they all become subsidiaries of somebody else. And they all go to the trade shows when your HR people come to who am I going to pick and choose to be my, employee, whatever the hell, whatever. All the jobs I used to do as we got bigger that I outsourced. That's what it was. It was outsourcing everything. I didn't mind when we were smaller. I didn't mind getting H-1B visas and learning how the process worked and doing it. I didn't mind doing the affirmative action plan, which required a lot of statistics. I didn't mind doing employee investigations because when somebody came to me with a problem, you're goddamn right I investigated it. Did we have things happen? Yes. I'm not at the liberty to talk about it, but companies, companies make settlements all the time because they don't want to go to court, And I had been right on a few things that, well, nobody listened. I was the Rodney Dangerfield of HR sometimes. I don't get no respect, even when I was right. I was part of a federal investigation. We had one. I'm not going to talk about exactly what happened. I was a target at first, but then I wasn't. I was indemnified. I sat and was grilled by the feds for 6 hours while my attorney, who the corporation paid for, drove me down to do that. And it wasn't fun. But anything you do when you have federal funds can be looked at because, that was a whistleblower case. I don't even know if I'm going to keep this up, I don't want to get in trouble. I'm not naming names, but these are just my experiences. And if my experiences are somehow going to get me in trouble, that's a bunch of bullshit. I'm just an old lady. But if I can teach somebody something, it's a very intricate system we live within. Okay. And holy shit, what I have not, I don't know what I can say I haven't been through, both personally in my life. People have told me I should write a book. Yeah, you're right. I did. So I'm not disclosing jack shit, just my own, No, it's not that my past bothers me. Honey, I don't live my past. I went through enough therapy in the way past for all that. It's not bothering me. It's something I'm talking about. I have a channel. I can do this, Tony. It's all right. It's not bothering me. Yeah, it triggered me because I see the injustices everywhere. The United States is not with the justice scales anymore. It is the injustice scales. And the injustice scales are corporation CEOs, billionaires, wealthy people, and everybody else. And even the middle class that are buying all those goddamn houses that are built on farms and farmlands that are being blown over by the first tornado that comes in the Midwest, that are over mortgaged, even they are down here. But if you watch HGTV, you think everybody has $2,000 a month for a mortgage, because they're being sold these tracts of houses. That's another thing I've been watching lately. All of a sudden, House Hunters came up, and I started watching it thinking, oh my gosh, look where all these homes are being built, taking away wild lands and wetlands, and so many states do not have the kind of protections New York has. For example, I live in a good state. Everything has to go through a lot, but is there greed and is there corruption? Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. In everything. It's so sad. The way the country was founded on colonialism and murder and genocide, because no doubt about it. We genocided the indigenous populations. And I don't say we because who the hell? I mean, I don't know. It wasn't, I don't know if I don't think it was my ancestors. Well, I do have ancestors that were from the UK, actually. I can't say I don't. And I had a great, great grandfather that fought in the Civil War. I mean, for the Yankees, obviously. So I don't really know. I have such a mishmash of a background, but we were founded on corruption and genocide and ugliness. And so when I hear "Make America Great Again," when even in the 1950s, which is what these Project 2025 people want to bring us back socially to the 1950s, but with technology and technology for all. And I'm a technophobe. I have a goddamn cell phone. I have all that shit. I will never say I wasn't something, because if I wasn't what I was, I wouldn't be able to discuss what I do. Consumer, business person, hell, but I was a Harley rider, biker, hung out with some of the worst of the worst. I did. I knew it. Thank God both husbands were not racist pieces of shit. The first one, maybe a little, but, I don't know. Maybe they both were and I ignored it. I don't know. And that's not, for now. But the whole thing is, if you can't admit who you were, that shapes your worldview, then that's also lying to yourself, because I have been all of those things. Look, I love jewelry. And like I said, I always tell everybody, I like to get my nails done, but nails keep me from biting everything, because I have anxiety and I would bite everything around my fingers. So nails are cheaper than therapy. I don't want to drive anywhere. I don't even want to leave the fucking house. So there you go. I do it for that. I like it. It's just something I like. However, I'm finally giving up hair color. Finally, kicking and screaming. We'll see what happened. But like I said, and I'm not perfect. I'm just a person that has a little tiny YouTube channel that doesn't get traction because I believe that people really are nasty and don't like old ladies. But that's just what I feel like sometimes. But yet there's that elder gal who got 12,000 views on her channel because she talks about, she whines a lot. She's all bitchy because her visa didn't get approved to move to France. And I talk about some really fucking important shit. We can't get traction. I try, No! No, hair color. And I wasn't even coloring my hair. I haven't dyed my hair in years. I was using a shampoo, that lavender. You guys have seen me through everything. I've been on this channel 8 years. I've been thin, fat. I have been blonde, red, purple. I mean, I've gone through all the goddamn things. You've seen me. Now I'm, finally like getting into growing old gracefully. And, well, trying not to, get too upset over the fact that, this shit's happening and all of it is. And then I think, well, really, who cares? I'm not dating. I don't want another man. I can go through that whole thing. I've been traumatized. I've been abused. I have never told my whole story of my life. Some people said I should go on, what's his name? Kristen, what's that channel we met on? Why you met us? Kristen. No, we're no longer twins. I decided to stop using that shampoo. I now use just a bar of shampoo, no plastic, called the Earthling Company. And actually, my hair has never been nicer. And I have been blow drying it lately, I admit. Soft, white underbelly. Yeah, I've been told to do that maybe I would help people with my story. That you can go from being what I was in my younger age, okay, way back, to what I became and what I am now. But I can't do that. I'm just not going to. I don't know if it would help anyone. I really don't. I just do this, you know. I don't want to do that, but hey, Benny, I love seeing you. 21st Century Suffragettes. Good channel. Check them out. One of the gals is an amazing musician and she does musical shows and I love them. She has a wonderful voice. I'm really jealous. I'm losing my voice. In fact, I'm probably going to have to eat this, well, sugar-free cough drop. YouTubing isn't easy, especially if you're female of a certain age bracket. Sandy, sadly, it's another boys' club here as well. I feel that way. But yet there are these old ladies that are capped. Okay, that's discriminatory. Older women, but see, I couldn't say it if I wasn't one. There are older women that are doing well on their channels because they have found a niche. But it's usually political because the more, you saw that video I made about that orange turd, that if I did that, I could probably play it, but I won't make you sick. If I did that ad nauseum and just talked about politics and the orange turd, I'd probably get, thousands of views. I don't want to do that. I do what I do. I do what I do. I do whatever the fuck I want to do on this channel. I can't even make 5,000 subscribers yet because I am so diverse and different. I don't follow any kind of formula. I just do what I want to do. And I had to start monetizing because I have to take care of these 8 cats and myself. And watch the other video. Like I said, it's not my story. I can't really tell my own story. But I can't afford life. And part of it is my own fault because I did have big spending habits because at the time, I was making a really good salary. And when I married my second husband, Doug, I thought, God, quit roofing. I make enough. I'll take you along for the ride. Never knowing I would become disabled as bad as I was, with my back. My neck, Jesus. I had neck surgery in 2018, part of the game, okay? And the doctor told me at the time, about 5 years it'll last. Oh, it's been 5 years. And I don't plan on having any more surgeries, especially with 2025 coming up. Nope, stay at the hospital, stay away, everything holistic, as much as I can, growing my food, all of it, okay? All right, so we are here. I've gone over a whole lot, been venting, ranting, teaching you about the health insurance industry, about what human resources really is, talking about personal stuff. Part of my whole life fell apart and I got divorced the second time, which I never thought I was going to be alone. But, when someone turns out to be an insufferable narcissist and you deny it for as long as you do, and then realize, well, I think I'd be better off alone in the middle of nowhere like I live. You make a decision. And I made the right decision for me. It is getting harder. I have osteopenia. My bones are a little brittle. I'm taking care of myself. But I can't do the things I used to do. I've rebuilt every single garden bed this year myself. 100 million wheelbarrow loads and all of that. But I can't do that. So I've asked my Amish neighbor, Harvey. He came and measured for raised beds, which I don't know how I'm going to pay for, but I know he'll give me a good break. Put them in because I cannot do what I did. However, with what's coming down the pike, with food safety that's going to be compromised because they are going to loosen the regulations on these corporate food processors, farms, and everything else, you goddamn right, I'm growing again as much as I can if I have to fucking lay down or crawl on my legs to plant, crawl on my hands and knees to plant everything. But I can't say I don't need help. I really do. And that's why I'm going back to being monetized, because while most of my videos can't be monetized, really most, buy me a coffee and joining this channel and the super chats are really helpful because of, I don't want to start crying, because of the fact that I am a cat rescuer and I have 8 now and I take such good care of them. And because, I'm not anybody different from so many people, but I don't make a lot on it at all. And I have to, I will tell you, I'm so honest. I claim it on my taxes because I don't want to get in trouble. I do everything right because I'm scared. I don't want to get in trouble. So I claim the piddly amount of money I make, but I'm not blaming anybody. I have a small audience. I don't expect that you guys can just keep peeling out of your pocket every show. But I just want you to know, I so appreciate the Buy Me a Coffee and the channel members. And I want to make better graphics for my merchandise. And I was thinking about asking Vegematic to help me, since he's a professional graphic artist, to just make something really better for me that'll go on the coffee cups or fix. There's a couple of things I have ideas, and I certainly would love that. But if he can't, I understand it. I just have to take the time to sit here. And of course, I'm already, starting to hurt. Yeah, of course it is. And I know that you are a moderator for Sam Cedar, who I absolutely love, Sam and Emma. I love them. It's just a shame what's going on with the whole fight on TYT. But if you want to understand the whole TYT issue, I'm going to put a link in the show notes to Benjamin Dixon's last video about TYT. And that's it. Just watch that and you'll understand what's happening in the left sphere. And in the left sphere, it's very sad that in this time, when we are about to enter the fascist, oligarchic, most cruel, more cruel, I think, than we're used to. And we are a cruel country. Well, it's sad that the left is fighting, but can you call TYT the left? When Anna Kasparian actually went on with that fucking asshole who is an Agenda 21 conspiracy theorist, Glenn Beck. That had to be the most despicable, disgusting, heinous move ever. She is a sellout. Please watch Benjamin Dixon's video on it. I'm going to, and yes, Jordan's great. 2016, I went side by side at the convention outside, videoing and interviewing people like he did. I was good enough to go to Philadelphia back then. It was 98 degrees. This was hot as hell. He was with TYT. I was with Real Progressives, who I am no longer even sharing anything with because, unfortunately, Real Progressives has some very ignorant, stupid motherfuckers. And I don't know if I could, maybe I could pull up this one picture and show you. I don't know. If you give me a second, why not? Everybody else does it. I'm going to look for what someone wrote to me. Maybe I can. Oh no. I'm going to try to find it because it's a reason why I will not ever follow them or share my shit with them. Okay. Because this guy, this is what I got from one of their people, because they were trying to say how bad Blue Sky was because it was full of shit libs. Yeah. Oh, look, you sound like a sour old shit lib who doesn't like people who call on her bullshit. Sorry, Granny, but no one is buying what you are selling. Failed. Well, fuck you. And fuck Real Progressives. Because if you've got people like that, I'm not sharing, blocking, fuck that. I didn't even get defended by Steve Grumbine, who started the whole thing, because he's saying the same shit. Blue Sky. He's on Blue Sky, but they're not defending me, who was with them way back. I won't even tell you the stories on that. And I'm not a granny, by the way, because my daughter's not a breeder. So fuck that guy. But there were other ones that said that to me. Nobody's buying what I'm selling. What the fuck am I selling, asshole? God damn, I'm telling the truth about, well, okay, wait. Anything with the word truth in it. I talk about the science. And so does my team. And by the way, Tuesday night, State of the Planet. Holy crap, it's going to be a good one. Okay? Yeah. Wanda, baby. Ben has a show with Mondale called Clickbaity on YouTube. Ben is wonderful. And let me tell you, Ben is a pastor. I'm an atheist. I watched Ben's sermon this morning. He does it on Sunday mornings and he does something on Wednesday night. And I watched it. And quite frankly, it was really good. And I cried because it was so good. And it doesn't mean I have to believe to understand and appreciate just how good it was when he talks about Jesus Christ as somebody that is completely different than what the MAGA churches, mega churches, and again, all of the ultra capitalist, moron idiots have perverted religion into. Pure Christianity in our country is just another money-making grift. Although where I live, the small little churches still have their lovely people. And I'm not going to put them down because I live in this community. And they believe what they believe. But Ben did a beautiful thing this morning. And I was touched, even being the atheist I am. And so that's where I'm open-minded, And if you get a chance and if you feel like you want to do something like that, Sunday mornings, even if you want to be inspired and you don't believe, it was inspiring. It really was. But like I said, I really like Ben Dixon. He has been a guest on Left Past 10 with me and Matt and Jake and Andrea. And I love them so much. And they are certainly not in the climate realm. They have me, their resident, quote, doomer on there because I am a progressive lefty. I believe in progressive values. And my channel is very tough for a lot of their people to even watch because it's very hard for people that, that don't really, well, they know, but it's just hard for the in the face thing, And I get it. But Matt, the letter hack, somehow really makes me feel okay. He makes me feel better. He's got a great attitude. And what Matt cares about are the people, unionizing people and rights, civil rights, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that. We are on the way out. I mean, we are essentially on the Titanic. I believe there's no going back. And I have, you know what, Lightning Rod? You said, what do you think of all the doomer descriptions? I've certainly not given up. No, I've not given up anything. That's why I still do a lot of things what I do. No, I don't know too many people who have given up. I don't think that there's going to be the techno fixes. I don't think carbon capture's working. I think it's all going to have to be a natural thing, like Drew and his algae, like all the people for permaculture and regeneration and fixing soils and all of those things. Everything has to be a natural fix. I don't want to see airplanes spraying. I don't want to see that happen. Just read Ministry for the Future. Kim Stanley Robinson. You get a little dose of where we could be headed. I don't see a good big picture. But that doesn't mean that I'm going to live my life every day and say, fuck it, I'm not going to get up in the morning and do anything. All right, so for the last 3 weeks, so now we're going to get to illness. We all have our illnesses, don't we? I have an autoimmune called Sjogren's disease. They used to call it dry eye, dry mouth, but for me, it is systemic and it causes arthritis, autoimmune arthritis. And besides the 3 back surgeries and the neck surgery that I got sucked into by the medical establishment, I have that. And I had been getting flares. And yes, it's called Sjogren's. Yep, that's it. That's it. So amongst the other thing, I've had this for years. I first started going to a specialist because I tested positive for Lyme and he didn't think it was Lyme. And finally, after a long time of tests and everything, he came out with the Sjogren's, right? And they always want to give you things like gabapentin and all this other shit. And I've tried all these medicines and you know what? They never sat well with me. Hydrochloroquine, which is Plaquenil, was the longest one I was on. But my latest illnesses really, really scared me as far as feeling lousy. In the last 3 weeks, it started November 13th, and I was in the hospital on the 25th in the ER, like for 8 hours. And cyclobenzaprine, no, I don't think so. Anyway, no, none of those things. Nope, 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 nope. Just hydrochloroquine, Plaquenil, which I lost during the pandemic because that was the touted, it cures COVID, which it doesn't. It just helps it sort of suppresses your immune system, but it's not a heavy immunosuppressant. And that's what they give to Sjogren's people. But I do use the eye drops, and tell us why I was in the ER? Okay. You want the story? What the hell? I haven't been sitting 2 hours, and interestingly enough, I'm not in pain yet. Probably because I took my pain med. Poor show. Okay. And that's a whole other story. Oh my God. I've told this before, but so many new people with me. On the 13th, because I have osteopenia bordering on osteoporosis, which is the old woman bone disintegration crap, I didn't want to take all those pills once a week. It was upsetting my stomach. I've basically not wanted to do a lot of that stuff. And so my rheumatologist decided, hey, let's try this thing called Reclast. So the same day that I picked up my 8th little kitty, and I had the little kitty, I went for the infusion. It took 15 minutes. Fine. I felt okay. But that was after I was kind of desperate because I was cycling in and out of these flares, which was making every single bone in my body really hurt for a while. Doesn't always happen, okay? But it was bad, and my rheumatologist said, let's try one more time methotrexate. So I went on that. I didn't think I had any side effects from that. But that's a really heavy immunosuppressant. Supposed to suppress your immune system so that you don't get these flares that make your life miserable. But the trade-off is, you see that behind me? That was a gift. Yeah, really. I can't. Somebody was trying to get me to get another one. I said, I can't do it. Can't do it. Didn't even think I could do 8. But this last one is 17 years old, and he's such a doll. So anyway, methotrexate. I thought, wow, if this helped me, maybe I could just feel better. But anyway, I'm not on any of it, suffice it to say now. So I ended up, the 13th, picked up the cat. He gave me a little bite the next day on my finger. Just a little bite, but he's had all his shots. And my finger blew up a little bit. I didn't think anything of it. I have all these cats. I've been scratched for years. But I wrapped it up. It blew up, and I ignored it. And so by the 25th, now I had that infusion on the 13th. The 25th, I was sick. I had a fever. My back hurt so much that I thought I was going to die. And of course, I thought it was back pain from bending over, maybe I picked something up, whatever. But I had a fever, so drove my ass to the ER at my doctor. She said, just go to go to the ER. Don't even go to the other thing. Go to the ER. So I went to the ER, and I was in the ER for a long time. They took a gazillion blood tests. And at first they thought, okay, you have a urinary tract or a kidney infection. And this is what I thought I had. All right. So after all the blood work, that wasn't it. But they had already had me on antibiotics for that. But it wasn't it. And I'm one of those people that now that they have the blood work online, I go into my chart and I get it all and I read it all. I've always been like that because believe it or not, guys, I had Hep C, and in the 90s, I did get cured in 1999 by being on a big pharma study who saved my life. It was very hard, interferon and ribavirin. I had to shoot myself up for 9 years. I got it. We don't even know how I got it. I'm thinking it was the Rogam shot. When I was pregnant, I had AB negative. My ex-husband had AB positive. And I got the Rogam shot. And then after she was born, she was born 88. But by the time 1999 rolled around, I knew I had Hep C and I went for the treatment. Maybe my daughter will get mad, but she was born with it too. So that's why we think it was the Rogam shot. I had tattoos, so who knows, back in the old days. No, I wasn't a heroin user. I love pot, So anyway, so I go to the emergency room, had a fever, blah, blah. They send me home, and my blood work comes back all kinds of wonky. And of course, she's worried about my liver. But now, at this point, I went for blood work yesterday, and my kidneys are perfect. My liver's a little wonky, but I have what's called fatty liver, a light case of fatty liver disease like everybody else in the United States has fatty liver disease from the shitty food I might have eaten on and off in my life before I was aware, of anything. Who knows? Because like I said, I yo-yoed up and down in my life. And when I was unhappy in a marriage, I got fat, then I got thin. I mean, I'm the American example of every fucked up thing that could possibly be, right? So right now my blood work is not too bad. And I got off of everything. I'm off of everything but my pain medication, which I can't live without, which is another whole story. And thank God I have it, because that's what allows me to have a functional life. If I didn't, I would not be able to do 3/4 of the things I do. And of course, a lot of people, want to say, oh, you're a drug addict, are you? No, I'm not. I am a person who needs medication. And I went through all that horror of 2017, being forced tapered, it's just been a nightmare through all these things. But again, I like to say I'm not a victim. I have just lived through so much that I can tell stories about shit that's happened to me for hours, okay? Hours. But who wants to hear it all? I want you to feel that maybe some of this is something you've been through and that you're not alone. You're not alone. So it took me a while, but I did find a wonderful pain management doctor who knows I'm not a drug addict. I have been on the same dose for 20 years. It's never changed. It's never gone up. I've never abused it. I hardly drink. I smoke a little weed. I got a medical marijuana card from New York, and I haven't even used that because it gives me the munchies. And right now I'm really trying to lose that last 20 pounds because got a lot of clothes I'm trying to fit into that I have. I don't need to buy, clothes if I want to fit into all the old shit, like this thing, but this is really big. If I got up, you'd see how big this really is. But, so I'm off all of the medicine, and the doctor, she was saying, oh, maybe you need a liver ultrasound, but I've been down that road, I know what it is. So I'm taking the right enzymes to clean the liver, and I take NAC, I take D3, I take K12, I take MSM, I take calcium. But I get enough. I think I get enough from my food, although I'm not really into a lot of, I eat eggs. I don't eat a lot of cheese because, I don't know, because, The minute you start eating cheese, it's addictive, and then your ass doesn't look like you really want it to. I'll be quite honest. My ass hasn't looked like I wanted it to in about 8 years. So anyway, um, so I'm off of everything, and I'm starting to feel better, although I have a dry cough, which could be many things. I woke up. I think it could be that I'd really just have to fucking dust the house, even though, like I said, I have uh, air purifiers and all that. And who said about the carnivore? Wait. Oh no, not carnivore. No, I don't eat a lot of meat. I mean, I'm not a vegan. I'm not a vegan, but with what's coming in 2025, I don't know. It's pretty scary out there, and I hope I can afford to have those raised beds put in the way I want. I have everything set up. I have irrigation. I have the second well that irrigates. I mean, I'm so blessed. I'm so fortunate. So for every misfortune that I might have been through, I am a very privileged and lucky person. I may be broke and I live on the negatives in my checking account every fucking month, but I get through it. I pay back my overdraft, whatever. I'm just that American. I can't live within my means as much as I really try. I just don't. I'm being quite honest. I want to. But I also am sort of a prepper. And so I always have 6 months worth of everything in my basement, especially for the cats, And I have a million jars of stuff, food, and I've been eating my soup and shit. Yeah, it is. So maybe now it's time to stop talking about me and let's talk about some of the stuff that, Tommiest, goddamn well I do. Ugh. Oh my God. I'm a lefty. I like to target shoot. I have a concealed carry legal permit from New York State. And I own weapons and I'm not embarrassed about it. I can take care of myself. Okay. I live in the boonies. You do what the natives do, right? You do what the locals do. I have cameras. I have what I need to do. Okay. I could take care of my fucking self. You don't ride Harleys with the big boys as long as I did without learning how to take care of yourself. Sorry, but that's just the way it is. It's not anything. I'm not Lauren Boebert or Marjorie Taylor Greene. I don't, I don't sit here and, gloat about it. It is just what it is. And I went through the whole background check. I went through the whole thing and I have it, but I can protect my fucking self. And because listen, everybody is discoverable. And I found that out. How discoverable I am. I have a driveway gate. It's a pretty shitty one, but I had it put up by my Amish neighbor just so my ex-husband would not drive down my long driveway when he wanted to, but it really isn't, that great and I need to fix it. But you're leaving my property. You come to hurt me, you're compost, babe. Just put it that way. I can take care of myself. It's not a threat. It's just a reality. I may be old and I may be disabled, but don't fuck with me and don't even try. And that's all I say to people. I like to target shoot. I got enough in my backyard that I got somebody that's going to help me build out of all the wood I have a new target because it's a skill. It's kind of fun. I don't want to do this because I'm some kind of gun nut. I just enjoy shooting. But I also enjoy the idea of having self-protection, and I am trained. If my ex-husband taught me something, it was how to take care of myself. All right. Yes, Tommiest, I told you. It's not anything I'm bragging about. I'm not proud that I have these things, but you know what? If more lefties were not afraid, we live in America. This is a fucking country of military manufacturers. If I lived in the UK, I wouldn't have weapons. I sleep with a baseball bat behind my bed. I'm not paranoid though. I just know reality. I went through this whole thing of watching true crime. And holy shit, you watch true crime and you see the sick shit that happens in this country, holy fuck, I'm not going to be here sitting duck. Although my across the street neighbor, there's two. I have two neighbors. He's a sheriff. They like me. And then across from him is my really good friend, and they're farmers, and there's a nice farm across the street. And if you think I'm going to buy anything factory farmed, you got another thing coming. If I want any chicken, it's going to be from my neighbors, or eggs, or that's it, because I really don't like factory farmed stuff. I am guilty. I have bought, or I have eaten, or I've eaten too much meat. I was losing weight on keto, but I was very conservative, put it that way, about what I ate. And now I'm going to change over. I don't know if I'm going to become a vegan, at least a vegetarian for a while. See if I can give my liver a break. And we all probably should think of doing those things. Okay, guys, it is time for, it is. I do. But it's very sad because before I met my ex-husband, I really wasn't into firearms. But I understood, and he took me and my daughter to the range, and we started firing. And that's when I said, wow, this is fun. It's a skill to target shoot. I'm not great at it, but it's fun as a skill, as a sport, And I'm online with this woman that is an 8-time world champion in target shooting. So it's just another sport like archery. My ex-husband happened to be a bow hunter. He was a hunter. And so I learned all of the skills on how to do. Nobody would have looked at me 15 years ago and said, she's going to live nearly off grid and hunt and fish and do all the shit he taught me how to do, which I really don't do anymore. But he did teach me a lot. He taught me how to be self-sufficient. And he was definitely good at bow hunting until he had his motorcycle accident, and then he couldn't pull back anymore, and that kind of started making him miserable too. And once he started, I loved him, and I did not think I was going to be this way, but I made the choice. Being abused, being gaslit, being made crazy, or being alone. I chose alone at this time in life. And then I look at, there's this New Year's thing going on in a restaurant locally, and I want to go, but it's just a dinner thing, and I don't even know who to go with. My girlfriends have husbands, everybody has somebody. I've met a couple of people that are nice, but it's weird to talk about it. That's why I really don't leave my property. I walk the property, I do everything here, but I really don't like to go out. I've got a truck that's a 2017. Yes, it's a pickup truck, sorry. But it's got 68,000 miles on it because I don't go out. The only place I have to go is doctor's appointments. Or friends' houses, But I walk up to people's houses because it gives me exercise. So anyway, let's... Nina, true crime is an entertainment economy in the U.S. It's booming alongside the prison industry and keeps so many from noticing the world beyond the U.S., right? But what I find terrifying is the amount of violence against women. And as a survivor of, not from either one of my husbands, but as a survivor in my 20s of violence, and we're talking about, because I ran with the big boys and biker clubs, whole different world. I am a survivor. Broken jaw, beat up to shit, woman's shelter, the whole 9 yards. I am a survivor. I got over it. I could tell my story. But I witnessed firsthand the misogyny and the chauvinistic awfulness. And I got out of it, I got out of it. I went to college, got married, all that stuff. I did all the right things. By the time I was 25, I was back on a good road. But I certainly took a veer the wrong way. I have a story, man, from the beginning. My mother says, write a book, and she doesn't even know half of it. So the town says it has no control over the privately owned billboard, but calls it potentially offensive. A town spokeswoman says she doesn't know how long the billboard will stay up. Is that the are you talking about the those three lovely words? And I should go for it. Sandy, do for yourself. Oh, the joy of it's well, it's a New Year's dinner, but it's on the 28th. I used to be single and would do these things all the time. I have been. I mean, I met a guy that's local, but just for a friend, and he went hiking the other day, and I said to him on his Facebook, I said, you could always come swing by and get me. I'll go to the waterfalls with you. Neither one of us wants any kind of relationship, just friendship. It's too late for me. I don't want a relationship, and that's okay. Yeah. Therapy for billionaires or the rest of us. All right, let me go let's go back and see. I really want to get to a lot of it. Yeah. UHC denies 32% of claims. It's pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting. That hurts. I've had it. About, I don't know, 8 months ago, I had a bout of it that was just excruciating, but the show must go on. I don't think I canceled a show. See, I'm starting to feel a little pain, but I'm okay. I'm good, guys. I really am. I'm enjoying myself this morning. Maybe Sundays are just a day for doing this. I don't know. I really had to get all this shit out of me and not be formal. And I really didn't want to show any, I didn't want to go and show any bullshit. Although I don't know, did I show this? I don't know if I have another picture. I don't remember if I even showed this, that my friend, I think I did, that a friend sent me for Christmas. Oh my God. I don't know. Let me see. It is just so beautiful. I think I did, but I'm not sure what show I showed it on. Or did I show it on I don't even remember what the hell I do. All right, here's a question. Is this offensive to show that some people are? Oh my God. I don't know. I mean, he sure woke up a lot of people. All right, let's get back to comments. Anyway, I don't condone violence. And that's where I've gotten in trouble with people that do. I don't. Okay. Stacy, your person was a abusive jackass and the second became an addict. It did make me a stronger person. That's right. See, because what you go through, you can't be a victim. You have to get over it. You have to live through. And if you need therapy, you get therapy. And God knows I had enough in my early years, and I was really grateful for it because of being also, besides that kind of trauma, I'm a rape survivor. God damn, the 80s were really rough on women. Although when hasn't it been? All right. I know I've told some of my stories before, and these shows give you a purpose and a meaning. Yeah, they do. But recently, or when I was sick, the last 3 weeks, I was in the mood to just give it all up and just say, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this anymore. But I wasn't feeling well. I just don't want to get up. I canceled interviews. I don't want to read anything. I didn't want to do anything. Jim Massa thought maybe it was depression, told me to get some certain lighting, which I still haven't gotten. But if I stick to, in the new year, interviews, climate, environment, and ecocide, which is horrible, but it's happening, and stick to all those stories and not talk about the orange turd, which I don't want to. Maybe the policies that are happening that are detrimental to the environment or our health, without talking about him, because he got Person of the Year, and all the MAGA assholes think that that's because he's their Jesus. But he got Person of the Year because the media can't shut up about him. Cannot shut up about that mother. Okay, I love that you do this. Oh, Thank you. That was very sweet. Yeah, exactly. He's on the bottom. He's not even on my list. Yeah, exactly. And I wasn't. I mean, literally, I was ready to tell you all, just like Sam on Collapse Chronicles, I'm done. But I'm not done because I do like doing my 2 nights a week show and I love researching and I love reading and I love Jennifer, Nicholas, Jim, and Antonio. And we are going to do State of the Planet on Tuesday night. Everybody's really busy, but we're going to get together. I know Jennifer really did burn out, but it's okay. She'll come back with me. You know, we did that Friday night show for a very long time, and I don't blame her. And I have things coming up. I just won't say when, like I did with Dr. Jason Moore, because I canceled him. Or, well, we didn't cancel. We just keep postponing. But Rachel Donald has agreed to be interviewed. I've got Kelly Green. I've got a lot of people I'm working on for the new year that are all in our, in our sphere. No, I know he'll be back too. He said this before. Hey, Scott. Yeah, exactly. I wanted to say something to you, Scott, because you did make a comment about environmentalists and sustainability and all that. You could be an environmentalist like I am, who is all about just preserving the environment, cleaning the environment, fixing up, growing things, not using pesticides, love your environment, but not want to destroy it with the latest techno doodads. So I wanted to say that. I did say it to you because I love you, and I did say it to you on Blue Sky. You know, I did. But I don't know. Are we really any more fucked than we were before Trump was reelected, or less delusional about it? Good question, my friend. I really like my Three Domingos to come back. I really would. Me and Brett are talking again, so I think that we will do the show again, too. I love them. Brett, Justin, and Scott, the End of the World Party. Justin Liso, who's been studying the Arctic, and I love it that he is kind of taking over the mantle from those of us who had been studying the Arctic for a long time. It's really great to see Justin bloom in his studies and understand. He's very young. He's in a band, as Scott is. He understands the ramifications of what's happening, and he's living through it, but they live a life. He and his girlfriend are just lovely people. And I just love watching the way he has bloomed. Yeah, me too. I'm not going to do it. I'm so sick of them. And people are trying to send me the political videos. I will watch once in a while a couple of them just to know what the right side is saying, because I'm not going to watch any of those people because they turn my stomach. But there are some people that do analyze what these fascist assholes are saying, and that helps me understand. It helps me for my show. And I do like the Majority Report. I really do like Sam Cedar, and I like them. And so, I'll probably continue. I don't watch anything every day anymore. I'll watch the environmental videos. Sometimes I'm like, God damn, they get all these views. And then I say, how can I compete? Why should I compete? They're doing what they're doing. They're doing a good job. However they built their followings, either they're scientists, they're a technophobe, whatever they are. I am who I am, and I'm just grateful you're here with me. I got 61 of you. And I actually got 61 with 58 thumbs up. Isn't that something? That's good. So it's time for a flush, and I have been asked, I think there's 2 flush. So the first flush we're going to do is United Healthcare. Everybody flush along. Goodbye, United Healthcare. Woo! Yep. And just for me, I'm doing the second flush on long-term disability, private Long-term disability companies, fuck you. Woohoo! All right. So who likes this Sunday pajama show? I'm wondering if I should do this for the winter because I'm having so much fun. And I got a lot off my chest. I really feel a whole lot better. Maybe I won't make them as long as this has been. Um, you know, I'm certainly not monetizing it. I'm not going to do anything like that. It was just, I just thought about doing this after watching Ben Dixon today and becoming inspired, even though he was giving a religious sermon. I became inspired because he's so wonderful. But like I said again, please watch his video on TYT and you'll understand why the right is sucking up some of these people like Cenk and Anna, who I really don't like. I never liked. I still like John Iadarola. But like I said, I don't watch all of these people all the time. I can't. It's not good for my mental health. So maybe I will do Sunday morning pajama mornings. I mean, shit, I don't have to get dressed. I didn't even freaking hardly brush my hair. I don't think I have any makeup on. Who cares anymore? And I like makeup. But actually, I am, you caught me that day, I put lipstick on. I like lipstick, but that's a function of Sjogren's because I'm always dried up, from that. And I do use Restasis for my eyes so they don't sink out of my head. So you like this, huh? Okay. Let me say thank you to those of you who are so sweetly generous. And unfortunately with this, you can't see the little graphic, but imagine a cat love. Imagine that cat love. Thank you. Everything helps, especially cat litter, because I have to use the expensive cat litter called Tuft and Paw. Really great litter because it's light enough for me to handle, and I use Catalyst mixed in with it, which is a wood product, but it's recycled wood product. It's light, and I compost all the litter in my own place. I don't bring it to the dump. I hate going to the dump. I'm so goddamn sick of having to go to the dump, but at least I don't use that much garbage that I don't have to go that much. I mean, I'm really low on the garbage. So thank you. Jed, thank you so much. That was very sweet. Very sweet. I'm always touched by people that do these lovely things. And thank you, Kanal. My sympathy, Sandy. My boss tried to make me relocate to the U.S., and I gave it a shot for a couple of years. I had a plan with a maximum out-of-pocket of $1,500, but I needed a CAT scan for something, and that would have ended up to be a $4,500 bill. Sweetheart, I do not blame you. I wouldn't move to the United States, and I don't know where I would go if I really was going to leave the United States, which I'm not, because like I said, my life is here, my family's here, although my mom says, we all have to update our passports. I'm like, Mom, where are we going? Really, where are we going? Okay. Jesus, where are we going? I live in Western New York. I live in the most, I might as well live in Montana. This county is just like that. Nobody gives a shit about what you do. I could shoot off whatever I want back here and who cares, but I'm legal to do it. So whatever. Oh my. Appreciate you, Sandy. Good vibes and all. Good vibes. Oh, that was loud. That was loud. Oh, should I go to Greece where they're sending Kimberly Guilfoyle because JR is stupping some other broad who, and sorry about my language, I could use it. And this is a way to pay her off from spilling the goods. Did you notice, if you looked at the news, because who could miss it, that the woman that JR is with has had no plastic surgery, doesn't look like she's had a breast augmentation, doesn't even fit in with the Mar-a-Lago plastic surgery set. How interesting. But they're getting rid of Kimberly. Kimberly Gargoyle is going to Greece. What a shame for them. Greece would be the hot diggity. Yeah, for her. I mean, Greece has had its problems. I've covered the fires and all the things everywhere. You can't go away. You can't get anywhere. I mean, I would love to visit somewhere, but I don't even want to fly anymore. I flew to Oregon in September for my brother's 70th birthday, my older brother's 70th birthday. And the flight and all of that with it was excruciating. And I hurt the entire time I was there, but we were all together, my family, you know. And my mom wants me to come down to Florida. And I honestly, who's going to take care of my 8 cats? It's really hard to go anywhere. You know, when I went away, an old boyfriend who was a really lovely person came and stayed at my house for a week. But after that, it was like having to clean up after him. And, you know, it was just like incredible. So it's, yeah, it is. They are. They're having a lot of problems. You think she's going to make it any better being the ambassador? Oh, my God. Oh, you do? That's nice. How often do you get to go there? See, I don't want to fly. That's the thing. Oh, someday I'll tell you about some secret passion I have, and I'll start it. I'll just tell you. I watch Pilot Debrief. I watch all of the aviation shows that examine flying disasters, and I understand all of it. Suffice it to say, that's another thing. I'm weird. Okay, Stacy. As a natural redhead, my eyelashes and eyebrows are basically invisible, so an eyebrow pencil and mascara are what I need to use. Why not? Does it make you feel good? Are they made out, you know, do you look at the brand that you're getting and make sure it's not one of those horrible things that's putting a lot of crap in it? Because anything I wear, I know where it comes from, and I look at the ingredients. France is good as if you could. I'm not going. I would love to, but I'm not going, and I'm not flying. And anyway, that elder gal couldn't even get hers, and she probably has 13,000 views already by all the other elder gals that watched her and want to live vicariously through her, and she's not even going. No flying is good, but U.S. healthcare emissions is in parity with U.S. flying. I know, I just don't want to. Hey, I've been invited to New Zealand. I have literally could go, but I'm not leaving. I have a homestead, and I really have a great community, and the Amish are my friends and my family and love me, and I love my friends around here, and I have found some really cool people here. I'm not leaving. And believe it or not, it may be very red here, but nobody lives it. Nobody walked around with MAGA hats, none of it. It just didn't happen. We're more into the farmer's market. We're more into our little farms. We're more into growing. We're more into each other. We're more into helping. And we're building a community of people. And a couple of my girlfriends have gotten in touch with me that want to build community so that we can now be ready. If you want to watch a really good prepper channel, watch Hoople's Cat. I've always said that. He's a small prepper, but he really makes sense, and he's not one of those guys that sensationalizes everything. He's just another small YouTuber. Okay? He's great. He's really great. Oh, really? Well, I have to say, there is a MAGA sign or thing on the neighbors that have the red barn next to me. They're only seasonal. They come for hunting. They come once in a while, and they have that on their fence, but it'll get tattered. It'll go away. I know. I know. I love it here. But then again, you know, we already had a tornado here in 2017, which destroyed so much of my beautiful old growth trees, and everything's changing. Okay. Everything is changing. Don't forget it. Yep. Plastic crap everywhere in babies, whales, the Arctic. Did somebody give me another one? Oh, everybody. Thank you so much. I know oh, you're working. Okay, sweetheart. Thanks, Alan. Rollin Switch is a wonderful human being, wonderful friend, wonderful human being. If if you missed our show on the train industry after the big accident in, where was that, Alan? Anyway, we did a show together on it, and it was great. So I guess I'll start the little bit of music, for the end, and let's do some more. No, we're not. Yeah, exactly. I've rewilded enough, and I had so many insects this year. And the deer love it here, and the rabbits love it here, and so do the mice, unfortunately, who keep getting in my walls and chewing things up, getting in my vehicle. I had to put mint trays in them, but that's I let them in my outhouse. I let them build their nests in there. Let them get warm. They're not in my house. If they go in the outhouse, they're not in the house. So, yeah. All right. We know what's coming. Maybe I'll do this on Sundays. I kind of liked it. Maybe not as long because my back is starting to bother me, but it was just a last minute thing. And look at all you beautiful people that came and joined me. Holy shit, I had no expectation. Yep. Nowhere is safer than anywhere else. From making climate chaos and political tribalism, so making where you live a better place for local people and the wildlife is the only option left, which is exactly what me and my girlfriends here are doing. Absolutely. We're not leaving, Salt and Bev, 100%. Hey, Kelly. Kat's got to up their game. And Kelly's going to be my guest, too. I want to talk with Kelly. Absolutely. Absolutely. I find his Canadian outlook on stuff refreshing. And I love you, too. But I love everybody because, basically, even when I was my HR position, the problem for me was I had a lot of love in my heart. And, oh, my God, I love the employees. And I loved the student employees. And there was always a student coming to visit me. It was one of the best parts of my job. The students. Love them. I really did. Just love them. All right, guys. It's been good. I think I'm going to get up and maybe I'll even dust. Clean off the dining room table full of shit. I'm not a hoarder. But anybody that's been here knows what my basement looks like. I really do need help. I mean, it would be nice, once in a while to have a guy to call up that I don't have to pay and say, listen, dude, can you come help me with this shit? I really do. I love you. And we're personal friends. This is the man, Bila, that came and set up my studio. So I'm forever grateful to him. He was a great house guest and we had good time. I've had many house guests. I'm an open to beautiful, caring, loving, wonderful people. Warren was here too. And Warren, I'm so sorry that I haven't talked to you. You wanted to talk for a few days. We will. All right, everybody. I'm going to do the regular closing up. See you Tuesday night for our State of the Planet with the whole team. Yeehaw! Nice, Renato. Make sure you watch my video on long term disability.